So we're going to be talking about Windows Autopilot. So at the end of this, we should have a good understanding of using the benefits of Autopilot. So let's look at what is required for us to use it. So essentially, Autopilot is going to be a collection of technologies used to set up and pre-configure new devices, basically getting them ready for production use using cloud-based services. Autopilot reduces the time IT spends on deploying, managing, and retiring devices, so essentially allowing for us to reduce the infrastructure required to maintain these devices. First of all, most importantly, it depends on the version and the specifications and the capabilities of Windows 10. Second, you need to have an Azure subscription set up with Azure Active Directory in order to get this functioning. If we're working with mobile devices, we need to have a mobile device management service along with iTunes in the Azure subscription. Way outside the scope of the typical understanding of Windows 10, but this is a pathway that we definitely need to understand. Administrators want to deploy new machines directly from the vendor using Autopilot. Essentially, a unique hardware ID for the device will need to be captured and uploaded, and then you can push it. For this to be done, Windows 10 must have a newer version, anything above 1703 or later, as well as the common hardware ID. This is also known as a hardware hash. This will contain the data about the Windows 10 device. This data will include manufacturing information, make, model, serial number, things like that. So what are the main requirements? A new version of Windows 10. You can also use this for specific editions of Windows 10 like Pro, Enterprise, Education, Server, things like that. Network requirement, you have to have internet connectivity, you have to have an Azure Active Directory account, you have to have a subscription to MDM if you're doing mobile devices. All of this is going to be using the Microsoft cloud-based system, so you have to have a cloud-based subscription that is capable of handling this with Intune. If you have any firewalls, you have to make sure you have to have port like 80.443 and NTP 123 must be enabled. What you'll do is you set up Autopilot profiles for functioning. You can skip things like Cortana, OneDrive, basic registration setup. You can automatically set up for work or school if you want. You can have certain sign-in experiences with branding, or you can have it skip licensing agreement. You can customize it to what your organization needs. Again, this is a new tool that really aids with the deployment of devices using cloud-based features. We'll actually get more in-depth with Autopilot in a later video. This is just a brief overview of what Autopilot's capable of doing.